I didn't even check this. I didn't even check to see if the cloud has enough room for this. So let's just see how much of this episode we get through. Did you guys watch Jeffrey, did you accept the promo that
I did. I just reposted it like 20 minutes ago. I said that, let's see, we did not have a censor button. Because
we did have a censor button.
Baby, that censor came, I think, when Lutasha said something like is or at.
No, the reason why we couldn't censor digmatized is because some people in our audience are not that as bright as I had hoped. And last time when we bleeped out Big Chinky, they all started.
We didn't say Big Chinky.
No, we beeped out Chinky.
Yes,
and they thought we said chunky, and they were like, "Well, what does that have to do with your eyes?" I was like, "Oh my God, you mental giants!" So we couldn't bleep out digmatized
because I like that because that means they would have to go to YouTube and actually.
No, I don't want people to think I said Big Chunky. I don't like that, Jeffrey. I do not want people thinking I'm going around calling myself Big Chunky. So I was like, okay, so there's. I was like,
you also led with the warning of it being a racist statement,
which is why some of them are bright.
Exactly, yeah, you know.
Big Chunky has nothing to do with racism. I was like, context clues?
Mm-mm.
So me and the editor had a conversation. We were like, for the people in the back who are a little bit slower, we have to say digmatized because who knows, they're going to say duckmatized and quack quack. So digmatized had to be said.
We could have did an audience giveaway to see who guessed it right.
If our audience had to guess digmatized, we have the wrong audience for these conversations.
When I looked at it, I was like, that was the first thing that came out of my mouth. My mother is going to be so shamed.
I feel like your mother has to know who you are at this point.
She's
at this point.
She's sitting at the church like, oh, let me listen to my son's podcast.
You ain't never been digmatized.
You haven't been swallowed.
It was only a matter of time before swallowed.
But remember, okay, so now that it's up, we got to check to see, because remember, I said if one of the studs DM me their backpack, I have a seafood mac and cheese for them, so we're gonna see what happens.
I feel like the girls were so impressed by the clip, they probably just watched that part over and over again. See, look, babe, she said that we good at the strap game. Like, I got hit up. I got some calls from DC already.
Oh my God.
The clip's only been up for about 6 hours. I got calls from DC.
You get lemon claws. I'm gonna get pitchforks.
No, I actually got hit up by someone who was like, "Oh, so you miss it?" And I was like, "Oh, yeah, I was not."
And
on the way.
Right. Backpack.
If y'all see a handsome lesbian show up to my house with a backpack, mind your business. By the way, I'm so happy that we're doing this episode today, not yesterday, because yesterday tried to take me out. The past 72 hours, I've been like, am I trying to get took by the universe? Am I going to be kidnapped emotionally? Like, it's just been a rough 72 hours. I really feel like
tell God to take you off the strongest soldiers list.
Yes, take me off the list. Take me out, because it was one of those things I was like, am I losing? Am I snapping? And I was having such a rough time. Have you ever like just been uneasy and you couldn't even put your finger on it? You just didn't feel good. Like, it's just your stomach doesn't feel good. You're nauseous. Something's wrong. The energy is off. You don't know how to make it better. You want to eat, but you don't know what you want. You want to sleep, but you're not really tired. You want to watch TV, but everything gets on your nerves. I was having one of those days yesterday and the day before and the day before that. And I think Bridget being here last week was great because she was such a fun friend to have over. And we went to Estelle's birthday party. Shout out to Estelle, legendary Estelle, which, by the way, I recognize something. This is something you guys probably understand. Have you ever hung out with someone? I think the thing that the three of us have in common is we all see people as people, regardless of status. Have you ever hung out with somebody, thought they were cool, had a fun time, and then after you get home, you realize who they were? Like, it fully hits you who they were. Has that ever happened to you?
Yeah,
probably.
Okay, not too much for the audio program, guys. They can't see you blinking. Your
I don't hang out with strangers.
No, not strangers. I'm talking about, have you hung out? We all know celebrities and people who are public figures. And then after you get home, because me and Bridget had a great time at Estelle's party, and then we're on the couch, and at 1 o'clock we're watching TV, and we're like, wait, we were just hanging out with Estelle. Like, it just hit us like what a big deal she was. Like, I remember listening to American Boy with Kanye back in the day. Like that, like thinking back, even when we watched her video with that song she had with Sean Paul, I used to love that song, right? And so it's one of those things of some people are just so kind and so human. You actually have to leave the room for you to realize, remember, oh, wait, you're a big fucking deal. Like, she is so friggin' lovely. She's also 44 going on 28. We watched a video from 2008. She looks the exact same way that she did at 28, quite literally. And this brings me to a first topic that I want to get into. Y'all be lying. Okay, let's talk about how people be lying. Who said that? There was someone online who was like, hey, you know, I'm celebrating my 54th birthday, the X, Y, and Z. And she looked like a really pretty 54-year-old. And someone was like, oh my God, 54 where? I would have never thought you were a year over 35. And I said, no, hold on now. That lady looks 54, right? And so I was like, wait a minute, there's a thing that's happening now where we're just lying to Black women unilaterally about how they look because we're conflating you look good with you look younger. And then I started thinking, wait, if they're lying to her, who's been lying to me? I might look 50, people lying to me too. You know what I mean? So seeing how blatantly and boldly people have been lying to her, I was like, damn. And then I saw somebody post something about how it's ageist actually to tell somebody they look good and then to follow up with you look so much younger because you're saying that you look good and looking good and youth are synonymous. And so you can't look good and actually just look your fucking age.
Damn, we can't tell people that they look good no more.
No, you can tell them.
I'm just gonna close
no,
my mouth.
No. Let's get it right. Not that you don't look good, but only that you look good rather than you look good. You look so much younger than your age.
Oh, that's okay. Maybe I'm, part of the archaic societies. So
no, but I'm asking.
Is it?
No. Don't do that because that's a fetus. But like, do you think it's possible for somebody to just look their age and still look good?
Absolutely.
I think so.
Then why don't we ever do that? Why is it always you look good? Oh my God, I'm stunned. Gasp. And the whole time the lady looks her age.
I think that people do just say like, oh, you look good. Like I've heard people say that before. I think there's more attention brought to when you say, oh, you look so good for your age, or you look young for your age, or sometimes when people say their age, I think other people feel obligated to tell them
exactly
that, oh, you look so good for your age, when you could just be like, oh, you look good. I don't know.
I think Lulu hit on the head. I think once somebody tells you their age and then they do that puppy dog thing of waiting for you to gasp, like, oh my God, I'm so shocked. No, I'm not. You just look good, sis. So
I don't want the boys tell me I look 28. So
okay. What if we all said we all just look our age? I've been pushing back, looking and telling people, no, I look my age. Y'all just look old.
The thing though is one thing I don't do. I don't lie about my age. I tell everybody how old I am. Like, and a big pet peeve of mine is when, other than talking to women,
that's different.
When you ask somebody like, oh, how old are you? And their response is guess. I hate when grown men do that. That is like the dumbest thing in the world. If you ask me, I'm gonna tell you, I'm 37 and proud of it.
Well, isn't it nice to be a man and be allowed to be proud of it without losing anything? I've lost 2 gigs that could have gotten us a coin and get us back in the studio from telling people my age. Actually, I think I could say it now. I don't want to say the studio. Somebody from a major studio like that channel that we all watch hit me up and said, hey, I've been watching your page. I want you to host a show for us. And we had a great conversation. We kikied, we laughed. And at the end, she said, by the way, how old are you? 32, right? And I didn't realize that she was saying, I didn't realize. Jeffrey, what just happened to you being proud of your age 2 seconds ago?
That's money.
Right. Not when a coin is involved. Shoot.
Okay. We all lying now and then.
She said 32, right? And I didn't realize that there's a game that goes where they supply you the age that they know you could hit. And I was like, no, girl. I was like 42. And she was like, Blue, I wish we hadn't done that. Like her whole demeanor changed. Like, Blue, we have to end this call. I was like, what do you mean? She's like, you're not supposed to, like, you were supposed to lie to me. And I was like, but I like my age. And you just saw a post last week for my 40th birthday. Like, She's like, yeah, but there's a cap. I wish you hadn't said that.
You don't lie. You be like, girl, what you said? What you said?
No, once you say it, and plus also too, because I'm so proud of my age and I have been so vocal, anybody who goes on my page can just see it. I did hide that post though, but at this point I'm repeating it on the show. So look, the clock has been restruck. I just think it sucks that we can lose jobs over age. But I will say there is a post that's going really viral right now about a podcast where they were talking about why are the millennials and the zennials aging slow and the Gen Zs are aging fast. And so now we can't tell who is what anymore because our aunties look just like us. We've been saying that for years behind their backs. I'm happy they finally realized that we've been looking at them funny.
Yeah. What's that one TikToker name? He was the one I saw the video of. I can't think of his name, but he does all the interesting facts and things like that. He's definitely thought me and that nigga was peers. I thought we were in the
Jordan.
Same
his name is Jordan.
Jordan. And no disrespect, but just definitely, I was like, oh, we the same age. That nigga said he was 26. I was flabbergasted.
Look at here, Jordan. I don't mind a younger man. I usually wouldn't go under 30, but I feel like you have an old soul. Jordan is cute. Him and the State Farm guy, Jake, the State Farm guy, did a video together. I was like, this is a thirst trap for nerdy girls. Because all the nerdy girls who read books, he's cute. I might, I could give him a head rub. If he sees this, I'm gonna be so mortified because you never know who's gonna see what, child. What's the youngest you guys would go as far as dating?
Next question.
Nope. What's the youngest you would go? Mister, I'm proud of my age.
I said proud of my age, not my partner's age. Y'all mind your business.
What's the Jeffrey? We don't talk about backpacks.
With PlayStations and
okay, R. Kelly's. What the fuck?
No, ma'am. Not that low. Not that low. Bring it up.
I saw a video where they asked the guy, what's the youngest you would date? And he said indignantly, I would never date anybody under 18. And we all got quiet, like, sir, that's the law. That's the law.
Right.
That's not
because you really don't have a choice.
He was like in his 40s and he said, like, well, duh, clearly 18. We were like, no, sir, that's not a duh. Jeffrey, what's your youngest age that you would go? Be honest.
So like honestly, like if I'm
He's
like
nervous.
No. If I'm like actually like, oh hey, I'm looking to date somebody, I honestly, you need to be 32 and older. But I have accidentally found myself in situations. The youngest, I would say.
Tell the truth, because we all know.
13 years, my junior.
And what number is that?
Well, at the time.
What number is that?
At the time, I was 36.
Last year.
Or 35. They were 22.
Oh.
No, actually, I'm sorry, 23. 23, that's what it was, 23. Yeah.
Okay, that is 13 years.
Yeah.
I like the math. How about you, Lulu? What's the youngest you would go?
I probably would not go under 30.
Why do you sound muffled? Does she sound clear to you?
A little bit muffled.
I started. It was.
There we go.
I put my hand over the mic.
Okay. Perfect.
That was it. I'm sorry, because it was bugging my shirt. Anyways, yeah. So 30 is as far as I will go.
Okay.
As low as I'll go.
And how many years difference is that?
11.
Okay.
I'm 41.
Okay. Also, I'm actually the least cougar of the group. Look at that. Look, it ain't that about a bitch. I'm always claiming being the cougar, and y'all would go younger than me.
I said by choice 32. By accident, I didn't know.
We're not talking about theory. We're talking about real life. Okay, we're talking about real penises in your house. Mine is I have a 10-year gap. So whatever I am, I will not go 10 years below that or 5 years above that. The reason why I won't go more than 5 years above my age is because I'm childish. I'm unserious, and I am concerned that I might get on his goddamn nerves if there's more than a 5-year difference. But yeah, I've never dated anybody who was in their 40s, even though I am now in my 40s.
You have not?
No.
I have a 15-year age gap with somebody older.
Oh, wow. Which do you prefer, being the younger or dating the younger?
You know what? Now, having done it, I think I like being the younger. I think I do like being the young.
That's because you want to be pretty. You just want to be cute.
Yeah. both have their pros and cons, but I think maybe I do prefer being the older.
Well, you just changed it, sir. Jeffrey's the most flip floppy in this.
I'm sorry. I mean being the younger. I'm sorry.
You like being the baby.
Yeah.
Okay. How about you, Lulu? Do you prefer being the baby or do you prefer being the cougar?
I'm definitely the baby. When. Bitch, I'm a baby.
Really? I think
100%.
I like being older only because I get to play as much as I want without having to feel judged. I dated somebody who was 1 year older than me, and this motherfucker acted like he was my pappy. I was like, I'm like, it's only an 8 months difference. I need you to calm. It wasn't even a full year, it was 8 months.
Y'all could have been fraternal twins.
Yeah, it was so condescending. I was born 1979. Okay, I came right after.
I don't think that all older people are like that, though.
I think I only attract that. I think I've only attracted older people who are condescending or young men who, got a Mrs. Jones complex, and it's real sexy at that point. I prefer young men who are. I will say this too, because I was called out like, "Oh, you sound like a predator," but this is not predatory. I think there's a sweet spot with Black men these days. I can't speak for the old days, and I can't speak for the older men, right? But there's a sweet spot in your 30s between like 32 to 38, where you're still open.
Open to what?
To evolution. All the men that I've met over 38, whatever it is what it's going to be, according to them. This is not me saying it, it's them saying it. Where when I've dated men who were in their mid-30s, who were, I only date people who are mature for their age, so people who get like Jordan who's 26, but we all thought he was 37. I tend to date younger men who get mistaken for older because of how they act. You know what I mean? Which means they're mature enough to keep up with me, but they're also kind of supple enough to like evolve if their emotional intelligence or something else is not on par. For whatever reason, once I hit a guy who's in his 40s, he's like, you're going to get whatever I give you. And I don't like that. I don't like it. But Lulu, in your case, meeting a man who's fully actualized was a good thing because at least he was fully actualized in a healthy way.
Yeah, and I enjoy it. I always feel like I too am also very unserious, and I just need somebody to be in charge and know what's going on. So I always like having somebody older.
Yeah,
that's me and Lutasha both. We were in we were in Trinidad for Carnival. Me and Lutasha got lost somehow at one of these parties.
Nobody's surprised. Like, nobody's surprised.
Like, we just gonna sit here and somebody will find us. And we literally
just wait
sat on the ground. We just sat on the ground. Yeah. Just like somebody will find us eventually, and they found us.
Really, like, I'm the baby. Come get me.
Somebody else needs to be in charge.
Well, you know what I realized? I think this is why I date Caribbean and African men now. Because they are so naturally old thinking, no matter what age they are, it kind of fills up the age gap. Like if you find somebody who's Jamaican and, he act like somebody's pappy since he was 25, at 35, he might be 42, honestly.
I don't see you dating nobody like that, Blue. I'm sorry. Somebody with that sort of like mindset kind of set and stuck in their way, like you're gonna come in.
He's young enough to listen. I know, but I think so far I've been lucky to meet younger men with old souls who still want to play. If I meet an older guy with a young soul who wants to play, that might actually work. Who knows? I might ask Lulu to introduce me to some of Master Splinter's friends and make eye contact. When I tell you I am so open right now, and I was talking to a friend recently about the topic of ghosting. Like, have you ever gone on a date with somebody or had a really great vibe with somebody and you thought, oh my God, this could be amazing, and then it just falls off out of nowhere? Has that ever happened to you guys?
Well, I was the one that ghosted.
Yes.
Well, no, Jeffrey, there was a time that you were excited about somebody and then it fell off, and I saw the look on your face.
Pick one.
Oh wow. Wow. Okay.
Is it that kind of episode tonight, Blue?
Yes, it is that kind of episode. I'm trying to help you, friend. And I remember how sad you looked, and it's so funny because a couple of days ago, I was walking past the mirror, and I was like, oh, I look like Jeffrey the time that boy hurt his feelings, and I was like, oh, I'm being a tourist. But what's so interesting is I love that we're part of our evolution where we don't begrudge it. When you're younger, you want to chase them down. You want to try to convince them. At a certain age, you're like, oh, okay, well, if you don't want me enough to do something about it or to step up to make whatever needs to happen, I'm going to mourn you on my own. Like, I'm not going to chase you. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And I love that I'm at the age where I don't feel the need to chase or text a bunch of times. If you leave me on red one good time, and you're not being responsive, I take that as an answer. You know what I mean? Are you guys at that point in your relationships where you understand that ambiguity is an answer? Or do you like chase down closure like the girls do when they're younger?
Yeah, I ain't
absolutely not. I've never actually really done that. Like I stopped that, and it's gonna sound crazy. I hope I don't sound ridiculous, but I stopped doing that in high school.
Damn, Lulu, you are 175.
I am, because I just couldn't. I can't, and I think it goes back to what I was saying about I'm so emotional. I'm like, this is the answer. I'm not. You're telling me exactly how you feel by ambiguity. Sorry,
I hate ambiguity.
Ambiguity. So I hate it too. So I'm like, it makes my pussy dry. So absolutely
yes. I'm so happy you said it because I'm trying not to be the first person to bring up sex on the shows because I've been watching. I'm like, what's wrong with you, girl? Get it together. Your pussy is talking on the mic. So no, like I really feel like ambiguity makes me dry up. Because when I'm getting sweetness and kindness, I get very like, ooh, speaking from a place of wetness. We talked about this before. I speak from a place of wetness when I'm excited and feel like it's mutual. I'm happy that I'm healthy enough that being toxic actually dries me up. I stop having sexual. In fact, even like you stop being cute to me. Like, oh, there goes that mean boy who I thought was cute. Like, I don't find you attractive anymore when I'm being ignored. And I love that I'm not traumatized enough. Jeffrey, what about you? When was the last time you felt the desire? I'm not saying you acted on it, but the desire to want to talk somebody out of ghosting or not investing in you because you were excited about them?
To talk somebody out of ghosting me?
The desire. I know you didn't do it, friend, but when's the last time you had the desire?
Oh, baby, I did it.
Oh.
I mean, we had a whole sit down. The cameras and everything needed to be there. We sat down in the coffee shop. My heart's still in little pieces in that coffee shop.
When pieces of your heart were left at the coffee shop.
No, but however.
When was this?
Probably like January, February, top of last year.
Oh wow, that's fairly recent. How did you feel afterwards?
Like shit. I felt so. I mean, come on, nobody likes rejection.
Yeah.
And it's one of those things where it's like when you are the one being rejected, let's call it what it is.
Yeah.
You are looking for the answer why. And me also being a person who was on the opposite side, having rejected somebody, sometimes it's not just like a reason why. It's just maybe I'm not feeling it right now. You know, one of those things. It's me, not you. And so being the one being rejected that time, for me, I'm just like, why? What is wrong with me? No, you tell me.
Because you're never rejected. That's why.
Yeah. What was the reason? Yeah, I know. That's why I was shocked. What was the reason?
I don't know, because we still hang out and we are still great friends and we are still just the best of.
So me and Lulu don't like ambiguity. Jeffrey lives there.
Oh yeah, I live in ambiguity. Ambiguity lane. Ambiguous lane. Me and James.
Yeah, you don't get to have access to me if you're ambiguous. It's unsafe.
The house of ambiguity.
Do you know that there have been studies that have shown that prolonged ambiguity is actually psychologically damaging?
To who?
To you, whether you recognize it or not. Yeah, prolonged ambiguity puts you in a space where you never feel fully seen, understood, or know where you stand, and so you're always on high alert whether you realize it or not.
Yeah, but I realize I'm kind of intentionally ambiguous right now. Like I agree with it, absolutely what you're saying, but because right now I actually realize that rejection was probably the best thing, because Lord knows I don't know if I'm really ready to be, like Lulu and Master Splinter.
I'm gonna foresee in the future we're gonna do an episode where Jeffrey has that ego death and he's finally ready for love again, and me and Lulu throw him a party.
Yeah, I'm gonna get there. No, I promise.
We're rooting for it.
I'm gonna get there. I'm just
the audience at this point is rooting for it, Jeffrey.
Right now,
pom-poms ready.
I'm gonna manifest that at some point, me, Lulu, and Jeffrey, who knows how long this is gonna take, child, are gonna all be in healthy relationships and do an episode with our partners.
Ooh.
That would be interesting.
Jeffrey, why do you look scared? Because that's how he's gonna find out who your partner. It's gonna be like The Bachelor. Jeffrey's gonna be giving out roses the night before.
Right. I have 2 photos in my hand.
Only one of you can be America's next top podcast boyfriend. No, seriously, we're gonna manifest that we're gonna have a partners episode of Humanized, where we humanize our relationships.
So we're gonna be doing this show for a while.
Jeff, all you gotta do is pick somebody. So
because really again, like I said, like right now it's just more about relationships are great. I love, but in sitting down and actually thinking about it today, January 23rd, do I want to be tied to somebody? I can't say that answer is yes.
Well, sometimes when you meet somebody, they come out of nowhere.
Oh yeah, trust me.
Which brings me to my biggest pain point about, because I feel like we all have themes around relationships and rejection that haunt us, that we have to, somebody needs to turn. Oh, that's Lulu. My bad. Lulu, my sound is on. So when you text me, yes, Lulu, the audience heard. Go get your protein shake, Lulu.
Okay, hold on.
I have mine. Me and Lulu are drinking protein shakes. Jeffrey, what are you drinking?
I'm drinking sangria. I have been in a sangria mood. This is all that's left, but a sangria mood the last couple of days. I
want some.
Yeah, chef that I work, Chef Eros. He got a lot of wine from a brand, and he gave me a red wine, and I have just been taking that red wine and throwing my brandy, my fresh fruit.
What are you haven't invited us over this entire year? Well, I can't speak for Lulu. You haven't invited me over this entire year so far.
It's been a lot going on. You always invited over.
No, I don't do that. I don't just roll in people's house.
I haven't cooked. I haven't done brunch and stuff like that. So.
You think I'm just using you for food?
I thought all my friends use me for food.
No, I come to you for the fellowship. The food is the icing. You're the cake.
Oh, well, yeah, come on over.
I'm on a fitness journey, child. I barely eat. If anything, I show up with Tupperware and take your shit home and eat it all week. Just nibble on it all week long. Child, there was some gumbo you gave me. I was eating that thing for like 3 days.
Listen, if we need to, we can do a threesome shot here on the sofa. I don't know. We can figure it out.
That'd be interesting to do a Humanized episode at your house. No, I tell Eros that like if he wants to have me back, I want to do some social media content shouting out his work. Because the last time I went, I think I was too tipsy and I was talking to that white couple too much and I kept forgetting to shoot. Because you know, usually when I show up to stuff, I film. But the couples that were there last time, we were chatting so much, I really didn't get to do my usual real recap like I wanted to for him. Also, I also want an excuse to have his pepper soup again. So just tell him.
What's in the menu now? So pepper soup is not on this one.
Oh, I like his pepper soup. Well, tell him if he wants to invite me over and me and my camera phone. I am totally down. Do y'all remember that Beyonce song Video Phone? What the hell was she talking about? What the hell is a video phone?
That was back in the days of the sidekick, I think.
Oh, okay. I'm like, did she make that up? Even back then, I was confused. What the hell was a video phone?
You know.
Okay, so I want to, number one, make sure that I ask you guys, what did you do this weekend? You guys know I went to Estelle's birthday party with Bridget. I taped some content over on for Bridget's podcast on her Patreon. And I kikied with my friends in the frolics. How about you guys? What did you go? Then Lulu, you were fucking up them pickles.
Jesus.
Tasha, we can see you. Jesus.
Wipe your mouth, sis.
Master Splinter's a lucky man. Jesus.
Okay.
He inhaled that pickle, bitch. What the? Let her swallow. Pause. Jeffrey, you can go first.
A little snack.
That was a something. Lulu got a gag reflex. Hit it, Jeffrey. What did you do this weekend?
This weekend it rained and I rested.
That's beautiful.
That was it. I rested. We can.
What was his name?
Jeffrey Scott Smith Jr.
Oh, there was nobody else resting with you?
Yeah, Jeffrey Scott Smith. We could talk about why I rested offline. But
this is a podcast. Did you get your little feelings hurt?
Oh no, nothing like that. Nothing like that. Yeah. But I rested me, and I actually did a deep. It was when it rains. You know, in LA we barely get rain. Last year was weird, a lot of rain, but usually we barely get rain. It is my excuse to seriously never leave the house. Oh, I thirst trapped it a little bit. I think y'all was invited to the thirst trap.
I saw your thirst trap. That man had a special delivery. There was a package in them pants. I was like, Jeffrey, what the?
I enjoyed it.
Wow. You know, I invited y'all to the party because
Blue, Jeffrey.
Blue, I'm still waiting on your thirst trap.
I know Blue has not fulfilled her end of the bargain.
He has not, but also randomly in Blue, I did a random rewatch and deep dive of Real Housewives of Miami.
That is, you know what? I need to go back.
Baby, they were good. All weekend I said, why were we not watching Miami the first time that they were on?
Because the ratings were really poor. The marketing, I think, was a little bit off. They hadn't found their footing yet.
That's why they got canceled. No, let me tell you. I think I figured out what it was. I think honestly, it was the accents because they are very strong.
They got better. Yeah.
You can tell all of their fights is because, baby, all of them girls are lost in translation against each other. You got Brazilian, Cuban, Jamaican, American. Like, they all just don't know what each other's saying, so they be fighting.
Are there any Afro-Latin people
there are currently 2.
That's amazing because you guys, I don't know if you saw, but I accidentally went viral today because I got mad at the National Hispanic Foundation because they shouted out everybody who was Latin who had been nominated for an Oscar except for Coleman Domingo.
Oh. That's
arguably the biggest name that got nominated that people are the most excited about. So I got a little upset. I might have retweeted and said some stuff. And everybody, the mother retweeted it. They got dragged so bad. The social media manager got yanked from lunch break and had to post a picture of him after the fact. I do say I like seeing Black and brown people come together to whoop somebody's ass. It was lovely, but it really kind of triggered me because the fact that Coleman Domingo is on the tip of everybody's tongue, he's every fucking where. His fashions, right? He is a 53-year-old heartthrob who, after years of being in this industry, is finally getting his moment. He's proudly Afro-Latin. He talks about being from Belize and Guatemala and what it's like and how he's proud about being from Philadelphia. He's constantly repping his set. And to have the National Hispanic Foundation, whose sole job today was to figure out who was Latin who got nominated, skip him over. It really upset me because, and I think I posted this on Instagram, when people talk to me, it's never lost to me that people only say I'm Haitian. Like, I'm very clear why people, even when I say Haitian and Cuban, they still say Haitian. I know why that is, whether they realize it or not, right? Because in your mind, you see a Black face and you're more at peace with the Haitian part of me than making peace that a Cuban girl can look like me. Even though in Cuba, everybody's like 3 shades darker than me and Black as fuck and look like they live in Philadelphia too. You know what I mean? Like, Cuba's one of the Blackest places I've ever been. And so the erasure of knowing that people never want to let you claim where you're from because of your Blackness, it just really, really pissed me off. And shout out to all the Latinos who came forward and who had my back and who dragged them and made them acknowledge Coleman Domingo. I just think that it's sad to me that the education system has failed us because a lot of people to this day are going to be watching this podcast right now. Actually, am I even looking at the camera? A lot of people to this day are going to be watching this podcast right now and still don't realize that Latino is not a race. And so for those of you who did not get a critical race theory taught to you in any capacity, Latinos and ethnicity, there are white Latin people, there are black Latin people. That's why the white Cubans in Florida vote for Trump and hate us, right? Like there's racism in the Latin community, but because people didn't get educated and thought that Latin meant not white, a lot of white Latinos, particularly the ones that with that blonde hair and blue-eyed, tend to get away with racism because we acting like they're light-skinned. Mind you, you have as much indigenous in you as a regular white person who just doesn't know their fucking genetic makeup. So I just want to shout out that there are so many people who are black and Latin, and those are not, doesn't mean you're biracial. Can you believe somebody told me when I didn't know you were biracial? They looked at me, y'all. Look at me right now. They looked at me and said, "Oh, wow, you're Haitian and Cuban. I didn't know you were biracial." I said, "Now, about who now? Haiti is the country. Haiti is the country. Cuba is the country. There are black people in both of those countries. 2 black people had sex and made me." But because they think that being Latin means, ooh, somebody even told me because I was about to post a picture of my hair, and I realized the reason why I never show my hair when it's blown out is because when I was younger and my hair was like really long, people would always associate, well, it's because you're mixed. And I'd have to argue with them that I'm not mixed. And Lulu, it's so funny. You and I were talking recently about what it's like having mixed people in your family and the optics and the politics of that. So I almost feel like even though Lulu's not Latin American, you probably the closest on this panel understand what it's like because you come from a family of somebody can be black and somebody can be white, but we all cousins.
They be mistaking me for Dominican.
Yeah, I can really see that. Actually, I could totally see that.
I can see that too.
I could 100% see that. I was speaking more of Lulu's like lived experience, but no, you could totally get mistaken for one of us. I think everybody on this podcast could be mistaken for Afro-Latin. Lulu, what is it like for you when you know what it's like to be in a family where there's 17 different shades, but we're all related?
It's not really it never really was a thing like until I got older. Like it was something I never even thought about. I kind of feel like what you were saying about showing your hair, I feel like when I moved to California, people, if they're like attracted to you, they were like, oh, you must be mixed. Like you must be mixed with something. What do you mix with? Like this is the only place I've ever lived where people ask me what I was mixed with. Mm-hmm. And I'd be like, I'm mixed with black and black as hell.
black and bliggity black.
Black. But yeah, it's like an excuse, like, because my grandmother is white, but I don't really count that as like being.
The only time race comes up.
Right. My damn grandmother.
No, that baby, white that grandmother. That grandmother.
The way you talk about your white grandma. You cannot stand that lady. It is the funniest shit because you love your family, except for that lady.
That lady me, y'all.
That lady me, that white lady me. Jeffrey, do you have anybody in your family like that too? Who do you have any white people in your family? I just want to make sure that I'm not missing anything.
Not immediately, no. If there is, they are so far down that we forgot about them. My parents both black from Chicago. The only foreignness I know of my family is my maternal grandmother's father, I believe, is from Barbados.
I mean that's Caribbean. That makes sense. Lulu, the reason why I went back to Jeffrey's because I saw you trying to bob mid-sentence for food, so I wanted to give you a second. Now that you've swallowed up your food,
I'm so distracted by these cheekbones Lutasha got because she's over here giving Lutasha Bailey cheekbones.
Right? Come on through, Cynthia Bailey.
Look.
No, but I mean, I don't. It really hasn't been like that big of a deal to me personally, and it's just like white and black. There's not really any Latin or anything like that. And it's just people are like a bunch of different shades. And I was telling Blue, I'm like, sometimes I feel like I look more mixed when I'm with mixed people, but then when I'm with black people, I look black. But I don't even really think I look mixed. I think I look like a regular black girl. But I think, again, back to what you were saying, like people try to make excuses like if you have long hair or if they think that you're pretty, then it must be something, you must be mixed with something. It's like, no, I'm just black.
That all started for me when I went to college. I went to school in the South. At Jackson State, at HBCU. Yeah. That was the first time I heard red bone. Everybody, what you mixed with? They thought I was Creole, thought I was Dominican.
Creole, okay, Beyonce.
They thought I was from New Orleans, thought I was from here. That was my first time ever in life.
The South needs to be released from that chokehold.
But it was also 2004.
No, I think the South still is in that chokehold a little bit.
Sheesh.
I only hear the word light skin spoken to about a lot when I'm like in the South, to be perfectly honest. Like we have a group of friends who's like, we 18 different shades. I don't hear anybody talking about people's color like that. Like it's not a big fucking deal. But in the South, it tends to come casually a lot. I'm always like, "Ooh, y'all pressed. Y'all real pressed." I want to do a quick little pivot because we were talking about ghosting and relationships and being cougars or cougarettes. What do you call men? Oh, we don't call y'all anything. Y'all just date.
Predators.
Right, predators. Speaking of apex predators, weird segue. My ADHD is popping up. You know, chickens are derived from dinosaurs.
Wait, what?
Chickens are descendants of dinosaurs.
I can see that.
That don't weird you out about?
No, babe. Like think about it, when dinosaurs, at least from what we have seen, because none of us were actually alive when dinosaurs were here, but from what we have seen from like movies and TV and studies, when dinosaurs come out them eggs and are hatched, they look like a chicken. Yeah.
Chickens are descendants of dinosaurs. I don't know why that messes with me a little bit.
Sphinx cats look like naked chickens.
Oh, I hate those cats. They do look like.
I hate that cat.
My friend Monique and Richard, they have two of those cats, and they love them, and they be rubbing on them, and I'd be just like, ooh.
If they just look terrifying.
They apparently they're very loving. They have to be. It's like having a sweet, ugly boyfriend. He got to be nice. All right. So sorry. Go back to the original point. My pivot was going to be to the fact that I am recognizing, to Jeffrey's point, it is the 23rd of January. He was very loud about that. Jeffrey, this is not coming out today. But even though it is so early, people are already freaking out on social media about Valentine's Day. People are already saying, if we become official today, we still got 3 weeks to figure out how to take pictures with roses. Like, people are freaking out about Valentine's Day, even though it's not even February yet. And I was like, damn, it actually made me a little bit anxious. I was chilling until I saw the post. How do you guys in general feel about Valentine's Day? And do you think it's something that has ever caused you anxiety?
No.
Jeffrey?
Currently, I only freak out about who's going to hire me to cook for them. But in the past, no, because I love holidays. I'm like, make it a birthday, make it a Valentine's Day, I love holidays, period. And so Valentine's Day is supposed to be special. And I remember there once was a time when a lot of the same-sex crowd, we would do Valentine's Day dinner either the day before or the day after, because it was not as acceptable to be out with your lover on the 14th, whatever.
Not your lover.
Wow. Whatever.
The lover.
But I actually, until you just said it, I hadn't even thought about Valentine's Day. Shows how single I am.
So you've never been lonely on a Valentine's Day or anything ever?
No. I either was in a relationship and we probably did something, or I had a Valentine. Mm-hmm. We did some things, but not like.
So you've never had a lonely Valentine's Day?
Hell no.
Oh, okay. Excuse me, Queen. How about you, Natasha? Have you ever? He said, "Do you see what is happening?" No. Okay, hit it, Lulu. Have you ever had a lonely Valentine's Day?
I haven't. I don't really get hung up on Valentine's Day. I think it's nice when you do have somebody and you guys, even if you don't go out, like I find that I don't normally go out on Valentine's Day because it's always crowded. And if I really like that person, I just really want to be with them and spend time with them, whatever the case may be. But if I'm alone,
when you're alone, you
don't
really
now? Care.
You don't
when
care.
I'm alone,
wow.
Like if I don't have a boyfriend or I don't have a Valentine's or anything like that, I'm not like, oh no, I don't have Valentine's. I'm probably asleep.
Really? No, that I'm the minority. I've had a couple of really rough Valentine's Days, actually.
Really?
Really?
Yeah. And actually, I think not anymore, because I gotten older. I've made peace with it. But I think for me, the roughest Valentine's Days I've had was when I was in bad relationships, not when I was single.
Oh, okay, well, that could make but because you weren't, I guess I thought you were asking from the sense of having a bad Valentine's Day in the sense of like being alone.
No, you said that everything was Gucci when you were in a relationship. That's why I pivoted to alone. I just meant bad across the board. I've had some really lonely Valentine's Days while in a relationship.
Well, that sucks. Was it because the person didn't attempt to do anything, or were y'all fighting, but in Valentine's Day happened to roll up on you?
Well, here's the thing, and this is something that's been used to be a pain point for me. I've completely let it go. I'm someone who just loves love. I love love a lot. And I also, I'm not in love with love. I actually love actual love, right? And so for me, whenever I'm in a relationship, any excuse to celebrate my partner, I get excited. Like, yay, we have an excuse to celebrate you. I have never had a partner throw me a birthday party. I have never had a partner throw me a romantic Valentine's Day. All my partners, up until recently, actually, were always used to me being the one. And they're like, well, that's your thing. And I was like, okay, it might be my thing, but I'm still a person. I still want you to invest in me. And so I think because I've dated so many people who were okay letting me be the one to throw the Valentine's Day stuff, it became really sad. Like, wow, I'm giving something that I'm not receiving in return. So for me, Valentine's Day has always been a reminder that I'm in the wrong relationship. I've never had a good one. I've never had a healthy, oh my God, it's mutual. Like, I actually, one time I bought my boyfriend flowers and he didn't get me any.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I've dated some really shitty people, but I talked to my therapist about it and she said that people who are really open-hearted are prime real estate for narcissistic people. It's because it's almost like if you're narcissistic, and I'm not saying narcissist, there's a difference. If you're narcissistic and you are selfish and want to get a bunch of attention, who better than a sweet person who's generous and has no discernment? Think about that.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Like a narcissistic person's not going to go for Jeffrey, who's like, I'm pretty, I'm the baby. They're not going to go for Jeffrey. They're not going to go for Lulu, who's like, oh, hell no, I'm not doing it. Like, they're not going to go for y'all. They're going to go for the big Care Bear who is being super obvious and doesn't know how to be selfish. And I think because I only learned how to be even moderately selfish in my late 30s, I was prime real estate for people like that. Like, I was just basically waiting to get plucked by someone who's going to use somebody. So yeah, Valentine's Day for me has been painful.
I spent some time with a narcissist.
No, you spend time with you definitely spend time with a narcissist. I mean, Jeffrey, law of averages, if you fuck enough people, you'll run into somebody narcissistic. But I'm saying that I was only attracting them because I was so nice and so happy and so kind. And I will say those words are supposed to be self-aggrandizing, but to Lulu's point, I think me and Lulu I was thinking about this recently, Lulu, after you left my house the other day. I think Lulu and I are very similar. The only difference is because she had brothers and like a big family around her, she learned very easily how to like cut her losses. Where I was like her, but I'm an only child. So I was like, yeah, see what happens. Like I didn't have any guardrails. And so the things that would send me to jail, Lulu already learned back in the 1900s. I'm not gonna do that no more.
See, I've always been the one I like on balance, like I don't think that I have given my partners a chance to actually be the one to plan a Valentine's or something romantic, which is probably why I'm never bothered because I love to be like, ooh, let's go to dinner. Like I want to make the plan.
But you're also a guy too, so there's not society telling you that your man should be. Society doesn't tell men that other men should be spoiling them. Society tells women that men should be spoiling us. And so when you're a woman who's never had a partner who has spoiled you emotionally, I've been spoiled financially, I've been spoiled sexually, I've never been spoiled emotionally, and it's the one thing that I crave.
And you've had both.
Interesting.
Yeah, I've had men and women, but I only date masculine energy. So this is about masculinity.
Were those Valentine's days any of the partners bad being women, or were they all men?
No, it was both. Everybody's failed me. Everybody has failed me. Yeah.
Damn.
All of the above.
Everybody has failed me on Valentine's Day.
I was hoping that like the women in your life made a little bit of effort because I'm like, it's expected with niggas. I'm sorry, but I was hoping that the women partners might have made it.
I had to say this because I gave the studs a shout out the last episode for their stroke game. But the one downfall of only dating masculine lesbians is they tend to act like the daddy that didn't raise them. And so a lot of things that we see with masculines. Are y'all okay? I'm just saying, like, toxic masculinity does not only live in men. Toxic masculinity is something that lives in anybody who is masculine presenting, including women. So because I only date masculine energy, funny enough, anybody who's ever offered to do something nice to me for Valentine's Day was a femme. But I'm not attracted to them like that. If I was into feminine women, I would have been married years ago. Years ago. Women are just, women and people who are feminine are just taught to be loving and kind and nice. And people who are masculine are taught to be prideful and egocentric and all that good stuff. And so I've learned that gender really doesn't mean shit when it comes to masculine and feminine energy. For all those ladies who want to leave men and go to women, I need you to know she better be super girly or it's going to be the same thing with no penis, unless you bring it in your backpack.
With a
Backpack. Do y'all have Valentine's plans for this year?
Hopefully being employed. Cooking a couple of Valentine's dinners for people.
How about
Bookings are available now.
Are you really making commercials in the middle of the goddamn episode? Did y'all see that? He said, what the hell, Jeffrey?
See, look, Blue gonna wait to drop this episode February 15th.
Yeah, on a special Thursday episode from last month. We didn't have a sponsorship agreement. How about you, Lulu? You're in a relationship. What is your Valentine's Day going to be like?
I don't know. We don't have any plans. It's on a Wednesday. Like
hump day.
We'll probably hump day. We probably will we'll probably order food, not even go out, and love on each other and snuggle and eat. And
that sounds, I mean, I'm a tourist. That sounds perfect to me.
I can't wait till the Monday after Valentine's Day so we can talk about what we did for Valentine's Day.
You know what? You gonna have the most spicy stories, Jeff.
Yeah. I'm hoping to be working, so the only spice will be the peppers in my recipes.
You know what? Okay, lies. You can tell me like, so after I left the gig, I called this boy, right? Jeffrey, we know you. It'll be 11:15 p.m. and you leaving and throwing away your apron to go find somebody finds house, or having to come to your house so you could cook for them.
Okay.
I will say this though, I've gotten to a place though where Valentine's Day used to hurt me. Now I'm neutral. Like I don't.
It used to hurt you, like just the thought of Valentine's Day. Really?
Yeah, it used to be bad. Yeah,
I'm so mad for you, Blue.
I am too, friend. Do you know what it's like to throw somebody a surprise party and they don't even throw you a birthday party?
Yes.
That shit is sucky. Like when you're a naturally generous person, being around a selfish person, I realized that I can only date other generous people.
But what if that's like not their? What if that's not their jam? Like they're just not a planner, but they got you like a really nice gift or something.
I've never been in a relationship where somebody has shown up in a way that made up for what they didn't do.
Okay.
No,
I think it's probably for me happened twice. One time where in the relationship, that person, like you said, Latasha, just wasn't a planner. That's not their thing. So it didn't bother me too much. But then in another relationship where that person very obviously is a planner and is like, you ain't putting no effort into this. And so that probably hurt a little bit. No,
it's like when I was dating a photographer who didn't want to take my picture. I was like, well, fuck. I was like, I don't think we should be together. No, like I think that, and this is why I love therapy so much. Remember how previously I talked about how therapy changes your sexual appetite because things that you thought were preferences were just pain manifesting through your sexual whatever. It also changes your romantic type because I recognized through therapy that a lot of the people I dated were people who reminded me of my dad. And so yeah, but this is common, guys. Daddy issues is a thing for a reason.
Let me refill. We going deep. I ain't had no daddy when I was growing up. What was that song?
Papa, can you hear me?
No, remember that song? I ain't had no daddy when I was
No, that song.
I don't remember that song.
No, I don't remember. I don't want to hear it.
I'm gonna find it.
Don't play copyright, but no, I ain't had no daddy.
I'm gonna just give y'all the artist so y'all can play it. Right.
Yeah. Well, so because my father, I was a daddy's girl with no daddy, right? That used to be the tagline. And because I was so obsessed with my dad, when he left, I didn't realize it, but I judged my mother because my mother was the sweet, kind, nurturing one who was always doing for other people. And my dad was the selfish playboy who had, outside kids outside of his marriage, namely me. And so I remember realizing in therapy that I judged sweetness for weakness. So the part of me that was like my mother, I put it away. And I was always chasing men who were like my father. Like I always wanted somebody who was emotionally unavailable, who was very charming, who everybody wanted. Because in my mind, if I could get one of y'all to pick me, it would make up for my dad not choosing me. You know what I mean? And then I got therapy and I was like, ooh, child, that's not going to work for you. This is why you keep on ending up with assholes because that's all you're drawn to. And so then I got some help. I worked through my daddy issues. I actually don't have daddy issues anymore, thank God. And then I started going for sweet guys. You guys, we can hear it when you text. We already announced that, Jeffrey.
I just want y'all to know who it is.
Okay.
Tierra Marie.
Jeffrey, not me sharing about my childhood trauma and you're posting Tierra Marie.
I'm sorry. That's why
no daddy. Jeff's timing is always impeccable.
Is that the word we're gonna use? Is that the word we're gonna use?
I'm sorry, Blue. You know I love you. Touch my heart, not touch my head, not to my heart.
But here's the thing, though, like, right, when you start dating nice guys because they're the opposite, unfortunately for me, I started liking nice men at the exact moment where the internet became popular and was teaching fuckboys how to pretend to be nice. So now I'm like, how I end up back here? Like, I picked you because you were nothing like my father. I picked you because you pretended to be sweet. Like, all the things that I thought I wanted, that I went for, I'm now, unfortunately, in an era where the fuckboys are not pretending to be the men that I healed into liking now. So now I'm like, shit. I don't know what to do. Lulu, do you think, and Jeffrey too, do you think that your father figures or your relationship to fatherhood has in any way impacted the kind of men that you are attracted to or drawn to? Because now I want men who who are nicer than my father, not the men who act like my dad.
100% for me, absolutely. Me and my dad, we have a really good relationship and we were always pretty close. And so I found out, like, my father is extremely alarmingly direct, and he
I
doesn't
love
really,
that. Oh, I love that.
so he doesn't really mince words. And I always feel like if somebody can tell me the truth, then that means that they really care about me. So like
Exactly.
when people lie to me or sugarcoat or all this kind of stuff, like I'm so used to directness that I'm not like when a man is like actually direct, I'm like, oh my God, this is amazing. And I think a lot of men are just not used to being direct with women. Like they're like conditioned to lie or sugarcoat, or they think that we can't handle it or all this kind of stuff. And so like it took me so long to even find somebody who's just willing just to be direct and just state the straightforward thing. And it's yeah. So like I remember one time I was dating this guy and he was like, I can't tell you the truth. You'll be in tears. And I was like, not with Luther Bradley is my dad. Like he been talking to me crazy since I was 4 years old. You think your ass, who I just met 6 months ago, gonna hurt my feelings?
and then she body slammed him, Jeffrey.
Yeah.
Right.
Because that's what Luther said do.
You know what? I'm Lulu, I feel so affirmed hearing you say that you want somebody who's direct, because I was just thinking the other night, if I have to choose between being with someone who's passive aggressive or dying alone, I'd rather die alone. I do not want to spend my entire life having to guess how you feel or having to pull your emotions out of you. It makes me feel so unsafe.
It's extremely unsafe. And then like you get the rug ripped from up under you, like, oh, you've been mad about this for this amount of time, or this hurt your feelings, or this made you mad, or any of that shit. Like you just can you tell me so we can like figure out if we can work through it or not? But I don't even stand a chance, or we as a couple don't stand a chance if you don't say anything.
And then they're like, well, I'm just being a nice guy. No, you're being an unsafe guy. I think that's a big, to me, that's a non-negotiable. If the universe sent me my person right now, but he couldn't keep it a bug with me, I'd have to like catch me next lifetime. I can't do it. I don't have it in me anymore. Do you have a non-negotiable, by the way, Lulu, based on your relationship with your father and just how you date in general, aside from not being direct?
Another non-negotiable, I mean,
No
at
shoulders.
this point, oh my God, Jeff.
Jeffrey, what did you say? I didn't hear it.
Me and Jeff have this thing. We do not like it when niggas don't have no shoulders. Like,
oh
like,
yeah,
their shoulders be like.
we talked about it. You guys don't like shoulders. And I don't like hips. I don't like men with hips, and you don't like men with shoulders.
Oh my God!
No offense to our hipless, our hip full and shoulderless crowd.
I mean, if you and I could go to Lane Bryant together. And this is not about size. This is a shape thing, guys. Okay, a strong backed big boy with strong shoulders and narrow hips. I'm here for it. But like, I don't want to see me when I look at you.
Shoulders.
Yeah, no, it's so funny. I hugged somebody who was thin, and he had a strong like back like brace when he hugged me. I was like, good. I actually think I said it out loud. I was looking for. I don't look at your size. I look at how strong your back is, because there's some skinny guys who can flip you. I have learned that
there are
recently that skinny men can flip you, and then there are some really big boys who have weak fucking shoulders who can't even like flip you over. So I look at back strength. Lulu, is there anything other than shoulders, or is it just shoulders and being direct?
You know what? I think, and this is more recent, but I really need a confident man. Like confidence in yourself, and like self-esteem is very important. And I think that with men, it's a lot more tricky, because I think a lot of men are really good at hiding their insecurities. And there's nothing wrong with having insecurities. We all have them, but just like still, solidified in yourself is something that's very important, that I realized a little later in life is something that is very important to me and something that I need.
Oh, I love that. How about you, Jeffrey? How's your relationship to the concept of fathers and your father, whatever that has created for you, impacted how you are attracted to people?
That's always been something interesting for me, because my father, he died when I was 6. Mm-hmm. And honestly, outside of what he looks like, I don't have memories of him, his personality, any like special moments and things like that. I remember what he looks like, and that's all I have. So I have never been able to say, oh, I want somebody just like my father, or I want somebody complete opposite.
But the absence can because my dad left when I was 7, but the absence can sometimes create something around. You don't think that his absence is in any way impacted the kind of men that you're drawn to?
I don't know. I honestly, I can say like I never thought about it because my mother was like superwoman. Like it's just always just like, and, now of course being an adult myself, I'm sure my mother, she had her own set like, ooh, I wish these kids would just take their ass to sleep.
I mean, we've talked about your mom. The more you tell us about her, y'all her a fruit basket or something. That lady went to stuff. Right. Every time you tell a story, I'm like, his poor mother, goddamn.
There was 3 of us.
Oh heavens, Lord.
But yeah, for me, that is just something that I can honestly say I have never thought about. From stories that I hear, my daddy smoked weed. He was the prince of the hood and cuss.
He was a city boys up.
My daddy was a city boy from the stories that I have been told.
And you like city boys now, huh?
No, I am the city boy.
You are the city boy. You your daddy. Well, there we go.
So I'm not looking for my dad. I am my daddy.
Look at this. We just have free therapy with Jeffrey. Woo! I'm the captain. I think all 3 of us have gone through moments of acting like our daddies, though. Because when I started dating women, I immediately turned into my father. No, seriously, I was a fuckboy for about, I'm not gonna say how long, but I was a fuckboy for a long time, and it wasn't until I was like, oh snap, I'm acting like my daddy. And Lulu, we've already seen how your daddy has impacted the way that you roll up on people. Look, Lulu, why are you making the face? Fathers are important. I mean, mothers are important too, but I think everybody talks about how important mothers are, which is why we don't have moments to be introspective about the impact that our fathers have on us. And it's so funny. You know who's a father who I often wonder about the message that he's sending to his children or his child? Common. Common is interesting because he comes off very sweet and very charming, and yet he is the Lori Harvey of hip hop, and nobody really calls him out on it. He has been with every high-powered Black woman from here to the Mississippi, never gets dragged for it. I mean, he's community dick at this point. In the way that he's community dick. We make fun of Lori Harvey, but he's been doing it since before she was even born, and he doesn't get called out for it. He is now currently dating J Hud, and it's so interesting about the grace that men like him get to be for the streets and not be called out because they're being nice. We don't know if Lori Harvey's not nice or not, but we call her out, and I find that kind of annoying. But it also makes me wonder, what is his daughter thinking? Here goes my daddy with my favorite singer again.
How old is his daughter?
You'd have to Google that, friend. I don't know, but I think she's an adult at this point.
Because I think that,
she has to be.
I don't know Common personally. All I know is he's from Chicago, just like me. What up, Common? But I feel like it could be a thing of kind of like the Lori Harvey of it all. Like the relationships may just end amicably, or he just is not that guy that's dogging, his women out in the relationship and after. So it's like, we broke up. I ain't got to say nothing bad about, I ain't got to say nothing bad about.
They don't say anything bad about Lori. She's still getting dragged though. Like it's literally a copy
because of sexism. That's because
exactly.
Yeah. But if it weren't for that, the guys that like she's dragged by us, the audience, but the guys that she dates, like Michael, Idris, they ain't not Idris. What's the boy's name? Damson Idris, yeah. Yeah, there we go. They not out there, saying, oh, that B and slut and F this and that, because the breakup was probably, like an amicable thing for real between them. We just, as a sexist audience, we always got to say, oh, look at her. She bouncing from nigga to nigga, versus Common, who's probably doing the exact same, who is doing the same thing as Lori Harvey, because he has a penis. It's that little bit of grace that he's given.
But how do you think, we're just talking about how your father's impact how you date. How do you think it impacts his daughter to have your daddy being the kindest, sweetest community dick in hip hop?
Because she's 27, by the way. I just
shit. Well,
and Common's been doing it since she was 2, so shit, like it's been her whole life.
Again, I think it's a thing of also, again, his daughter knows more about what's going on. Even if she don't know, she knows more than we know how the relationship ends or whatever. So she's probably seen her father treat women well, even in a breakup, and so for that,
So he didn't teach her how to have like people like Lulu who are like, oh, my parents been together 30 years. He didn't teach her that. He just want to tell her that it might not be forever, but he can still be nice to you.
Yeah, because shit, it might not be forever. You might get tired of a nigga after 30 days. Talk about 30 years.
Jeffrey, here you come. I was looking for Jeffrey's bitter dating report to come, and brought to you by Best Kept Secrets.
Only a matter of time.
I was waiting. We got pretty far. Into the episode. Usually the bitterness is in the first 30 minutes. So Jeffrey, you're getting better.
I feel like people in the public eye have to go through so much from outsiders in the audience versus in their home. Because just like we talk so much shit about Kim Kardashian, but in her home behind those closed doors, she may actually be the best fucking mother to them children. And so they just look at her like she's this magnificent person. Meanwhile, when they step outside, is slut, bad mom, bad this, bad that.
But I think her motherhood is the one place that Black women in particular have shown her a lot of grace. I think when it comes to motherhood, it's the one place I see Black women be kind to her. I think they talk to her more about trying to pretend to be us and take our men and throw it in our faces and commodify our body parts. But I think when it comes to motherhood, we give her grace. It's the other stuff, and the other stuff, she courts it, right? Like she gets paid for it. I was just thinking when we were just talking about Common and his daughter about how she probably is better equipped to deal with disappointment because her father has had so many high-profile relationships that she's watched him navigate. On a scale of 1 to 10, guys, how well do you think you navigate a heartache? Like you thought this was the person. Whether it was, and by the way, guys, I don't think heartache before Jeffrey does the asterisk thing he does, because I watched the last episode and Lulu pointed out you do love to add 35 asterisks for simple questions. So no asterisks. Taking away anything else, if you met somebody, whether it was 1 week or 1 year or 10 years, because I do believe that different relationships can be deep to you regardless of time. I've had people that I've known for a month that meant more to me than people that I dated for a year. So I don't believe that time can be dismissive. But if you really, really felt like there's something here that I really think I could build on, like I breathe easier when you're around me. I saw a list of how you know it might be the one. You breathe easier when they're around you. They're the only person in the room. Time goes by so quickly because you get lost with them. You feel like you're looking into a mirror. You're inspired to do better. Like if you meet somebody and you feel all those things, and for whatever reason, it just comes to a grinding halt and you don't see it coming, so you don't have time to prepare for it. On a scale of 1 to 10, how good are you at navigating disappointment, and what do you do to get over it or through it? We're gonna start with Jeffrey this time.
Honestly, I just
1 to 10.
Never let him see you sweat. So how do I navigate it? Great. Would great
No, you skipped the first question. Look at, he said 0. No, I said in real life. Forget what they're seeing, because again, you're talking about other people's perception.
No, that's what I say is how I navigate. You said scale of 1 to 10 is 10. I handle it great, or 0. I handle it great. Like it's 10. I handle it.
10. 10 is great. 10 is great, okay. and 1 is it's bad.
Oh yeah, scale of 1 to 10. I handle heartbreak. I would say I'm like a 8.5, 9.
Wow. And how do you work your way through it?
Honestly, it's a mix of in private and with close friends.
What are you doing in private and with close friends?
In private, replaying, talk to myself. I'm not what I used to think that, just ignore it, it'll go away. But now I'm one of those, to get through this, I believe you have to go through the pain. You have to live the pain. So I will spend several hours listening to sad R&B music, listening to all the love songs and all of that, to go through it, to feel, to understand, to know this actually meant something to me. And that might just be for me, but it helps me.
No, that makes total sense.
Yeah. I would literally be in the gym, Whitney Houston, Toni Braxton, screaming about love in my headphones, and I'm just pushing, just getting through it, because it motivates me a little bit.
I mean, I think that's really healthy, and that's a really high number too. How about you, Lulu?
Well, what determines if it's good or not?
if
you're good.
No, you're self-determining. How well do you think you handle deep heartache on a scale of 1 to 10?
It's only it's probably happened to me, I think, twice. And they were both different. So I don't know. I agree with Jeff. The only way is through. I don't know if it's good or not. I really don't know if it's good. I don't know how to judge it. What makes it good?
How it feels to you. This is totally subjective, so only you can judge it. How does it feel? Do you feel like, I'm handling this well, or do you like, nah, I'm down bad?
I don't know. I think I'm down bad for at least a couple days. But then because I try to allow myself to feel and go through it, and then I slowly get better. But I don't know. Maybe a 6 or a 7.
It's such a weird question.
I don't think it's a weird question. I don't think it's a weird question.
Maybe more interesting, not weird, maybe interesting. But I'm, because I don't know, for me, I would say Lutasha, physically being there in one situation of me going through heartbreak, literally being in the apartment and seeing all that. I mean, how would you say? I think I'd handle it pretty well. I don't know. You were there. What did you see?
Well, I don't want Lulu to give feedback. I want this to stay an introspective question.
Like
self-respect. Because that's a distraction tactic to get somebody else to give feedback, because then they feel pressure to co-sign what you said, whether they mean it or not.
Oh no, Lulu called me out.
I know, but I don't even want the distraction. So saying like an 8 or a 9. Lulu was saying a 6 or 7. I think me and Lulu are the same. Again, God, we really are the same.
I think
6? I'm a 6. I'm a strong 6. I'm down bad, but I'm not theatrical. I don't explode, I implode. So I get really quiet and sad and in my feelings, and I stay in like a blanket of sadness for like 3 or 4 days. And I just kind of lay there. I literally just lay there like and stare at the wall or listen to music or watch TV or try. I lose my appetite. I'm sad. Like I'm steeped in my sadness. And then about 72 to 96 hours later, I'm like, all right, I'm going to wash my hair and go outside. So I give myself a week, but I usually end up being better or breathing easier way before that week. So it's usually about 4 days. And I'm down bad for those 4 days. It's not brave. I'm not putting on a brave face. The only time that I put on a brave face when I'm going through heartache is for work. I've done some of my best work with a broken heart because I'm professional. But the minute I'm done working, I'm either sleeping or crying or staring at TV, not eating anything. And I've been told that it's really sad to watch. I had a roommate one time. She was like, that shit broke my heart. Like it devastated her. Like I was okay by the end of the week. I think she's still recovering from watching me go through that because it's like deep, deep despair. I let myself feel all of it. I don't bullshit any of it so that when I get through it, I really mean it. And then after that though, I'm better. It's one of those things where I think a lot of folks, because they don't let themselves go to the bottom, it lingers. I think that's why I let myself get so low, because if you don't, it'll linger. You'll think you're fine and you'll be crying in the club a month later. I don't want that for myself.
Maybe that happened to me at a Jasmine Sullivan concert.
Because you're a 9. You weren't going deep enough.
I was ignoring it so bad. And a friend of mine literally not even talking about a relationship. And I will never forget. That's why Jasmine Sullivan Circles is my absolute favorite song. I just remember she was singing that. And we were chatting about something. It was like, oh, okay. And like, just gave me a hug. Baby, I don't know, them lyrics hit my ear and I was in shambles, just completely in shambles.
Yeah, people who give themselves high scores in that question, I get nervous. I'm like, when's it gonna come out?
Maybe
it's gonna come out. So the people who are like 7 and below, it's like, no, I had a rough couple, I cried. People were like, it's an 8. I don't fuck that nigga. I'm like, oh man, you about to be crying in the rain like a Jodeci video.
Break down you least expected, and baby.
What's so interesting about heartache and disappointment? It really does like teach you a lot. And the reason why I asked that first introspective question is because I have a game that I want to play with you guys. It's a game that I played with Bridget on her Patreon episode over the weekend. And that episode's not going to come out till March. So people who are watching our show, because a lot of people cross-pollinate from different shows I've been on, they're not going to see me and Bridget have that conversation for a couple of weeks. But it's called the VCR game. And this is how it goes. So, Lulu, are you sleeping?
No.
Oh, it looks like you're sleeping.
I am awake.
you were looking down and not breathing. So I was like, damn. So the way the VCR game goes is, imagine your whole entire life is on VHS. For people who were not around for the 1900s, a VCR is a machine where you put in a tape and stuff plays. All right, look, some of the people are young. You're watching a VHS of your life, right? And how does VCR work? There's a rewind button, there's a pause button, and there's a fast forward button. In this video, this VHS, you have 3 options. There's moments in your life that you can rewind because you want to revisit them for whatever reason, good or bad. You either want to revisit them because somebody had you effed up and you want to watch it with fresh eyes because maybe you seeing it now in your 30s and 40s, it looks different, or you just want to see it again because it's a good thing. Up to you. Then there are moments you want to pause because you want to sit with them because maybe you rushed through them or you were going through something and you wish that you could savor them more. Then there are moments that you want to fast forward because that was some fuck shit. Like I wish that thing that was 6 months, that we could just do it in 6 minutes. And so the question is, can you name a moment that you would rewind and why? A moment that you would pause in and why? And a moment that you would fast forward?
This is like fuck, marry, kill, but for electronics.
No, for feelings about your life.
This is Circuit City's version of fuck, marry, kill. Since we're talking about VCR.
Wow, you really brought it back to the 1900s because the kids are like, what about VCR? City? What the hell is Circuit City? Woolworths, Bradley's. All right, Lulu, you'll go first for this one. Do you have a well? Let's start with the rewind first for all of us. What is the moment that you guys would rewind and go back to re-examine. And Bridget asked me this question: can you cut things out? You cannot cut the tape, y'all. There's no scissors in this scenario. They're just going to review. Because she was like, I cut this out and this. I'm like, girl, that's not how VCRs work. Hit it, Lulu. You're first.
Rewind, like basically you're reliving it. Something is that what you're saying? Yeah, I would rewind.
It's with that specific person or during a period when that person was in your life.
No, I didn't say anything about a person.
Like, I thought we were still on the whole like.
No, we're talking about just life. Your entire life.
Oh, let's go.
Yeah. He said, "F these ninjas."
Right.
No,
like, damn.
I said it was a VHS of your life. I didn't mention no. But you see how he got dick in the brain. Okay. Ain't nobody mentioned nothing about nobody.
No, that ain't dick. That's me cussing somebody. No,
I mean, what would you rewind, Lou? Like, you just want to go back and watch it over with fresh eyes.
Rewind, like my college years, because I just recall it being so fun that those 4 years of my life, and like playing volleyball and running around having a flat stomach all the time, and like
wait a minute. Lulu, you have a flat stomach now. What are you talking about?
Not like then though. Back then it was different.
Was it concave, bitch? I've seen your stomach recently.
Probably.
My stomach went inside. So you would go back to your college years. Okay, that's a good one, actually.
Yes,
wait, you said a moment? Or we get, never mind, go ahead.
Him with the asterisk.
He about to ask you. About the asterisk coming.
You said her college years. That's 4 whole years.
That's fine. She's going back to that chapter in her life. It could be a chapter or a day. It's a moment.
A moment. Mine is my 30th birthday.
Oh.
It was absolutely amazing. Rented a house in Palm Springs. My sister, she flew out here from Orlando. Mind you, I've been in at that point. That was 2016. I moved out here in 2009. Do the math for how long I had been in LA. And this was my sister's first time in California, first time coming to visit me. It was also my coming out year, that whole thing.
Oh, but you about 30?
At 30, yeah. Like publicly,
wow.
my friends and the people that live here and I was around knew, but like as far as just like, hey, you know. So yeah, that was special because we rented a house in Palm Springs. The house, it was 10 of us that were staying in the house. And we're having a pool party, and the theme was just like big kids. And also another one of me and Lou's friends, Leslie, she and I, we shared the same birthday, and she was in town a year. So on that Saturday, I was just having a little pool party for the 10 of us in the house. And, you know, of course, told a couple of my close friends still in LA that day, in addition to us 10, 76 of my friends from LA drove up to Palm Springs just for the day.
How do you have 76 friends?
You know, you just nice and you got a good heart and people see that. But it was
your abs on the internet.
I don't think it was your friend. I think it was some dirt. I don't think they were. I think you was term friends loosely.
I knew every
70.
person.
No, of course you knew them, but 76.
But I'm gonna tell you why. And I knew every person that came through that door. I couldn't believe they came because it wasn't like come and we have room for you to stay tonight. It's come and you can drive home or you can get your own hotel. And you know how we party. We turn up. The liquor never stopped flowing. You know all of that. But I will never forget the day after the party, one of the guests that fell asleep on the couch, Aaron Bernard, hey Trinity nerd, he came to me.
Bridget ran into Aaron recently. Apparently he's moving back to New York.
Yeah, I don't think he wanted people to know that like that though.
Oh, my bad. Okay, my bad.
Aaron came to me because Aaron is also quick backstory. Aaron is actually the first between him and James, our friend James Bland, the two of them, the first people I ever met when I moved to LA, and to this day we remain friends. But Aaron came to me that next day, and I never forget. He was like, "Jeffrey, I had the best time." And he was like, my mic on. Jeffrey, I had the best time, and he was like, "Jeffrey, this party was so amazing because I saw you speak to every single person that was in this house and came through this door, and you made everybody feel like it was their birthday." And that has just sit like to this day, that still sits with me. So my 30th birthday, it was. I did 3 costume changes, all swim trunks, nothing but swimwear. The shorts got shorter and shorter with each pair. But it was hands down amazing. My sister met all of my friends before we went to Palm Springs. Me, Lutasha, our friend Jessica and Brandy, we went out to I think it was State Social on Sunset Boulevard and did drinks and stuff. And it was a great weekend, but that birthday was just hands down amazing.
That's amazing. Yeah. I'm gonna make mine.
Go ahead. I wasn't there.
Oh, she's like, I wasn't there. She's like, can't tell you too much about that. I mean, well, there was 86 other people, so your hands were full. For me, I would go back to my senior year of high school.
Oh.
My senior year of high school was the time that I looked the most conventionally attractive.
Stop saying that. You fine right now.
No. Conventionally attractive is not about my self-esteem. It's just me being objective, guys. Like, it's not like I need a hug.
I think you fine.
I do too, and that's not conventional, guys. If I went on television, mainstream America would have other thoughts, and I don't believe that you have to lie to like yourself. Like, I can like myself and still be honest about what the mainstream says. But it was the time of my life where I looked the most Instagramish, right? And it was the time of my life that I hated myself the most. And so I wish I could go back to me back then and tell her that it was not that serious, girl. Like, because my friends and I all had like a pact, and we all had like eating disorders together, and we were all like eting one cheese. Like, seriously, wow. It was like Mean Girls. It was like
they was on that Beverly Johnson diet.
That Beverly Johnson. Tell the audience. Tell the audience so they know, Jeffrey. What is the Beverly Johnson
fried egg, black coffee, and cocaine.
We kind of were.
No rice. That's too many carbs.
No rice. Just cocaine and eggs.
Okay, cocaine, black coffee, and a fried egg.
Funny.
Yeah, no, seriously. But this was around that same time though, and so we had. And mind you, I was the Regina George, guys. I was the ringleader. Like, I'm not a sympathetic character. I remember my homegirl Veronica. Shout out to Veronica. She's now a nutritionist because she learned and I didn't. I remember sitting her down at Friendly's because I wanted her to have her last Sunday because Monday was goat time. I said, Veronica, you like Cheez-Its too much, fat ass. You can never eat Cheez-Its again. I was an asshole. If I see Cheez-Its in your face, you eat a Cheez-It, I'm going to slap it out your hand. Like, I literally was.
Blue, you was that girl.
Oh,
I was that girl. I was fine. I was cute, though. And I think I didn't take pictures. I fucking hate that I didn't take pictures. And the thing about that, Jeffrey, why do you look so shocked that I was a mean girl? I was Regina George.
Listen to me, bitch. You put another Cheez-It in your mouth.
Because she fucking loved Cheez-Its and they were full of salt and carbs, and she was fucking this up for us.
Oh,
and so I was like, yeah, we all
I see that red nail in her face. You listen to me, you
right?
Bitch.
If I see even a cheese or an it is on. And so we would go to the YMCA and I'd make us work out 3 hours a day. My birthday, I worked out 3 hours before we were allowed to go to dinner so that we could earn our dinner. It was, wow. But I was cute, y'all. But I convinced myself that I had to look exactly like that to be lovable. And I'll never forget what pulled me out of it. Rest in peace to the person I'm about to talk shit about right now. What pulled me out of it is that I had a job at a bagel shop with somebody else who was in our pact. And how do I say this? Oh. Everybody in the group was considered pretty but one. And
ooh, now I might not be the one getting that hate mail this time.
Right.
No, this is not about me now. This is not about me now. I'm older, I'm wiser, whatever. I was a 17-year-old anorexic. Like, I was hungry. I was hangry all the time. So everybody was considered conventionally attractive, like properly using that term, except for one of us. And we didn't know it because we loved her. It wasn't until later that we realized a lot of things that she was doing was because she felt like the ugly one in the group. And I remember one day we were working at a bagel shop, which is ironic because I wouldn't allow us to eat the bagels. We're working at a bagel shop and we're closing down and I'm sweeping the floor and this guy starts knocking on the window and I'm thinking he wants some food. So I was like, oh, we're shut down. He's like, no, please open the door. So I tell her, give me a bag of bagels. I'll just hand him the bag and tell him we're closed. I walked to the door with the bag of bagels and he's looking at me like, I don't want bagels. It's just that I saw you under the light sweeping and you were so beautiful. I had to stop and tell you because I could tell you didn't know. He's like, I can just tell you, you don't, because here's the thing about being anorexic, guys. When you have an eating disorder, it doesn't matter that you're a baddie to everybody else. You don't see it. It's body dysmorphia.
Yeah.
He was like, I can tell you don't know. And he was the first person who realized that I was faking my confidence. I looked great, but I didn't feel great. And so my eyes got wet and I was like, oh my God, thank you. Because he was the first person who was telling me I was beautiful, who wasn't trying to fuck, right? I'm so happy I turn around and the look of hatred on this girl's face. Like the pure uncut jealousy and hatred. And Lulu, you and I have talked about what it's like when you're a woman who inspires ire from other women for whatever the reason is, right? She looks so, like, the hatred on her face, it pulled me out of my happy moment so quickly. That day I went home with that bag of bagels and I went to Whole Foods and bought a cake and I started binge eating and I gained all the weight back. Because in my mind, I was like, if I look like this, I'll never have friends. Girls will always hate me. Boys will always want to sleep with me. I'll never have friends. And it became a thing of the minute I gained the weight back, everybody thought I was nice again. And so I was associated being thin in that way with being conspicuous and being a threat to people's boyfriends. I had friends who stopped being my friend when I lost the weight, who immediately became my friend when I gained it back. And that's when I started associating being thick with not being a threat, which is why when I got confident and got therapy and I was still a threat, I was like, well, shit, y'all hate me fat too. The fuck? Y'all just gonna hate me? I was like, y'all gonna hate me when I'm conventionally attractive, nigga attractive, whatever attractive I am, y'all gonna hate this shit. So I wish I could go back to that day and tell myself that that hatred was not about me. And later on, that young lady ended up unaliving herself. She had some her own issues. So that's the time that I would go back to, because I think a lot of people don't realize that some of the baddies that you see on Instagram, I befriended a lot of them when I first moved to LA, the ones who have 1 million followers and who are top 1% of OnlyFans. And they all reminded me of 17-year-old me. Gorgeous, hate themselves. Like hate themselves. And so when I meet someone who's really beautiful and likes herself, I immediately want to be her friend and like champion her more. Like, fuck it up, bitch. Like, y'all see me in action. I will hype up y'all see me and I will hype up a baddie in a second, because I know what it's like to look a certain way and still feel ugly on the inside. Did I share too much, guys? Or
no, this has been very insightful.
Now, what would we pause? Something just real yummy that we want to sip on. We just want to sit in a little bit longer. Jeffrey went straight somewhere nasty. Look at Jeffrey's face, child.
I know, right. I'm gonna clean it up.
You went straight somewhere nasty. Lord.
I saw the little eyebrows raised. Like,
I mean, we're adults. We can lighten it up. What moment would you pause it? Would you pause it and sit in?
Lou?
No, go ahead, Jeff. You got something on your mind.
I would know.
You are chomping at the bit, honey.
Because initially, the first thing I was like, oh, a moment I would pause. It was something a little risque, but then I'm like, wait, I've actually topped that moment. So you can continuously top those moments. But
Did you flex in the middle of an introspective game? He's like, I've topped that moment.
In all seriousness, I would pause my second relationship, which was my first relationship when I moved to LA. That was, I was like 23 when I moved here, but I think I might've been 24, 25 when we got together. But we spent about 4.5 years together. And when I tell you somebody loving my dirty draws, when I tell y'all, and that was the one where I had my fuckboy hat on. I was not necessarily the best boyfriend at the time.
Mm-hmm. And you're saying fuckboy past tense.
Yes, but I always came home.
Child, that bar is on the floor. That's
on the floor.
The bar is under the bed. It rolled under the bed.
Listen, I can tell you, like, talk about thoughtfulness, caring, trusting, like just all those attributes you want in a partner. I was just obviously way too young to understand and know, like, this is a safe space. This is actually someone good for you. I would pause that moment because it was very special. And luckily, we don't have any hate for each other. Like, we ain't in like cussing each other out or not speaking it like that. Just space and time, like, just life took off. But yeah, that relationship, I would pause that. That still to this day is very, very special to me.
Look at Jeffrey remembering when he cared. I'll go second.
I'll be very honest. Now you ask him, my actions did not seem as though I cared.
No, we're clear. We're all very clear about how you showed up. You said that you like how he acted. you want to pause in his actions. We're very clear. I'm gonna go second so Luke can round up this last one. Mine is the same thing. Part of having an anxiety disorder is that when I was younger and I was falling in love at any time, I would always shut down and like not fully receive it. And then after the fact, be like, damn, that was a good date. Why didn't I sit in it? So I think to Jeffrey's, kind of like Jeffrey, there have been moments where I was loved purely that I did not have the capacity to receive it. Then now that I have the capacity, I'm like, well, shit, I would like to go back. So I would love to go back to all those moments where I was falling in love and didn't know it. Mm-hmm. How about you, Lulu?
That's so beautiful. See, I was thinking about like
no, it's not beautiful. No. My second one was the last sex party I went to, because I wish I had known it was gonna be the last one, so I would have had more fun.
It ain't like you ain't dead, girl. You go to another one.
Right. Like, there's plenty of sex parties.
There's plenty of sex parties. And you can go to both.
My mother has lived. Maybe I'll go to a sex party with my next love. Maybe that'll be a hybrid. Hit it,
the one I did, never mind.
You know what, Jeffrey? Tasha, bring us home. I could tell Lulu was gonna be the wholesome one in this. I could tell.
I was gonna say, like, when me and my siblings were like kids and we would like wake up Christmas morning and like open our presents and stuff, like how excited I used to be like with my siblings, and there like be a fire and cookies and everyone's all happy and together
That's
and
so
life was
beautiful.
simple.
You see, me and Jeffrey talking about whole shit, and here's Lulu talking about Christmas with her family.
I promise y'all, I had a very good childhood upbringing.
You just a hoe.
I ain't listening to those spaces.
Oh my, Lulu. Okay, maybe Lulu should have gone last because we look extra hoe after that shit. Wow, like, I wish I went to a sex party and fucked more. She's like, just Christmas
leaving
morning.
Cookies out for Santa.
Jesus, Jeffrey, what's wrong with us? Lulu, you were the best of us, Lulu. You might be a little violent and you might headbutt people, but you are the best.
Oh my God. I don't know how to headbutt. I be telling Laurent it's over for him once I figure that out.
It actually might be, it literally might be. All right, Lulu, you can start this next one because I do not want you to end the last one because you might fuck around and make us look even worse. What's the moment that you would like to fast forward past? Just fast forward.
I think my relationship with my ex that lasted way too long. Like, if I would fast forward right on through that. Yes, right on through that. Zoop, 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 zoop.
The whole relationship?
The whole thing. No.
Fuck bad boy. Fuck me.
Okay, that's
the
how
staff, a record label.
Staff, a record label.
I fucked Faith. Yeah. Yeah. Lulu said, fuck you. You heard me, Jeffrey.
Maybe not the whole thing, but a good chunk for sure.
Okay, I mean that's fair. Whew. How about you, Jeffrey?
I would just fast forward the ending of my last long-term relationship.
Oof, wouldn't we all?
That is the only part I would. The end was not so great. Now, don't get me wrong, it was a rocky road throughout the whole time, but yeah, the ending was just very shitty. So I would fast forward that part.
I was there for the end, and I still got a stray bullet. Like, I remember me and Jeffrey had only been friends for like 6 months. I'm at the airport about to go to DC from LA, and somebody's like, "Are you crying?" I was so dedevastated listening to you. I started crying at the fucking airport. That shit was it's devastating.
Was standing in the apartment.
She's like, come to mama.
I was man.
Fast forward. What's the moment that I would fast forward past? 2016. 2016.
The whole year?
Yeah, because it was a year that I was covering the election in the news in the trenches in DC. It stressed me out so bad that I literally had to go on medication for hypertension from the stress of that job. And also, it was the year that I found out that all my friends were not nice people. Like, the entire friend group that I had was being unkind, was judging me, was speaking ill of me, was using me to get press passes to go to the White House, but talking shit about me the next day. Like, it was such an unkind moment in my adult life. It was probably the closest I've come to being bullied as an adult. So just all of 20. And but the beautiful thing is, I think that was God trying to push me out of DC, because I never would have moved to LA had any of them just been even moderately kinder to me.
I hate that, because 2016 was the year of my 30th. That was the year I wanted to pause.
See, I should have moved to LA, so I would have been at your party.
I know, you'd have been up. It was a great time. We had Jumbo Twister. We had like Jumbo everything. All the games was Jumbo. And we had water guns, and nobody was afraid to get wet. That was the best part. Nobody's like, my hair.
Pause.
Nobody was afraid to get wet.
Nobody was afraid to get wet. Pause. No, you know what's so funny? I feel like that group, the irony is they used to call me Hollywood. So it's like the thing they judged me for is where I needed to go. They were like, "You think you Hollywood?" Like, and I was like, "Well, joke's on you," because now I live here.
It was kismet.
Yeah, it was kismet. I think when you're playing small and you have a bigger purpose, God will find a way to shove you out of that rut. So I think it had to be that way. Because again, had they been any kinder, I'd probably still be living in DC right now.
You gotta think big, bitch.
Well, speaking of, you said that 2016, today I actually was devastated when I found out it was the New Hampshire primaries.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
And they still counting in the votes right now. Live, it says 50% has reported, and you know who is up, hey Whoopi, you know who is up at 54%, while Nikki she's at 44. So it's not as big of a margin as I would have guessed, and it's only 50% of the vote. But Let's fast forward if we can.
So yeah, guys, that just lets me think. There is a meme going around about, this is a meme that goes around a lot actually, about friend groups that bought plots of land and they create their own town. Ooh. And it's a popular thing. I'm just saying anywhere but Costa Rica, because all the niggas are already in Costa Rica and Tulum. But like I'm not opposed to me and a bunch of friends putting money together and buying a big plot of land. I do Panama.
You literally said Panama, so literally, Cece, y'all both know Cece, our friend Cece. She literally, like, as we were filming, just texted me and was like, "Oh, hey, Jeff, by the way, I moved to Panama." See, so we can go to Panama. If y'all
we're going to Panama. Special episode of Humanized, reporting live from Panama.
Listen, so she got an extra room. What's the tea?
I am looking into citizenship come the day after election once them votes are counted, depending on how it turns out.
It's one of those things where I do want to, and this has actually affected how I look at partnership. I do look at dating differently because of the political climate, because I'm in a space now where dating for fun and spending money at fancy restaurants and burning through it while the world is burning and we might have the devil come back into the White Office, like it doesn't, the White House, Oval Office, I mean.
I heard it, but
it doesn't feel smart to me. The pragmatic earth side of me wants to find somebody's son who is decent and kind and with a halfway good stroke, and just like, look, let's put our money together, get some land, find some friends who are like-minded, and make sure that even when the world is burning, our tribe is okay. You know what I mean? So I'm starting to look at dating, funny enough, in a much more community-minded kind of way because of where the world is inevitably going. And those who are hyper-independent are going to find out the hard way, this is not a good time for you to be on your own. It's not. Politically speaking, health-wise, financially speaking, this is a time where all the community mindedness that the Black community was robbed of seeing the importance in is actually super fucking important, because I will tell you this, all the bigots, all the zealots, all the xenophobic people, they are making extra babies and buying extra land and guns. While we're talking about hot girl summer and being hyper independent and acting like we don't want to date nobody. So for political reasons, I'm going back to slightly more traditional values because there's actually power in community right now.
I just have never been somebody so, like, I have so much anxiety about 2024, this election and the possible outcomes. I'm just, everybody just go vote and take 2 friends with you to vote. Just hold one in each
vote for who though? Because they're being convinced to vote for Trump because Sexy Red got a fucking $1,200 check.
Right. I mean, for me, it's just, honestly, it's not about loving Joe Biden. It's not about that. It's simply about country over party. It's about human decency. We can, and I think, God, who was it I was just listening to? I think of all people, it might have been a quote from Liz Cheney, but she said, you know, we can stand another 4 years of bad policy because she don't necessarily agree with Joe Biden's policy, but we cannot stand a Donald Trump in this office. Like, you cannot stand that in this office.
We'll be handmaids.
It's not even about liking Joe, loving Kamala, or anything like that. It's 4 years, y'all. Just vote blue.
Lou said we'll be handmaids.
Oh, I'm leaving, so I'm gonna be checking in on the U.S. But I'm like, literally, when they call that election at night, depending on which way it goes, if it goes blue, you know, I'll stay. I'll lock my doors because I know them white people gonna be acting crazy. But if it's called for Donald Trump, I'm out. Because come inauguration day, he gonna say Black people can't fly. Y'all gonna be stuck.
I mean, we're laughing, but Lulu, you and Master Splinter, Jeff, you and whoever is there that week, and me and whoever I decided to be with, we need to figure out how to have an election night, like just gathering, because it is helpful to have people around when you're waiting on the world to end. Because, I mean, I'm serious. America is the stupid cool kid in the cafeteria that doesn't get good grades, but they set the trends.
I'm only doing a gathering if we're doing it at my house, because election night, honestly, regardless of which way it falls, I refuse to be in those streets election night. So
But you're downtown. That's what the heat's gonna be.
I'm locking my doors. Or okay, if I come to your house, I'm just know I'm staying overnight.
Yeah, I got a guest bedroom. I think downtown is probably the scariest place to be. The homeless might start scaling the walls. Let us in, niggas. It's my house now.
I'm closing blinds. I'm
white
myself in. I don't trust.
They're gonna be like, I discovered this apartment.
right.
It's gonna be a random blonde man in your living room. Jimmy's gonna FaceTime us like, Lulu, come get me.
And so this phone is updated. It's at 76% reporting, 55% for Donald Trump, now at 43.5 for Nikki Haley.
Okay, so my stomach just turned. When I tell you, I still think I have PTSD from covering the 2016 election. This is going to be the first time, guys, in over a decade where I have not actively covered an election as a member of the press.
You know, I can't get on the part that just vote.
Huh?
I say, you know, I can just vote. Just vote.
Yeah, you guys, I just need you to know Joe Biden is the manager that you don't like, and Donald Trump is a terrorist with a bomb strapped to his chest. Who are you really going to be worried about?
Literally has told y'all what he gonna do.
So
literally.
You don't like your manager, but you probably hate bombs and terrorists more. So go to HR after you call the police, is what I'm saying.
I mean, the real reason, and I'm sorry, I know we don't really get deep into politics like that.
Yes, we do. This whole show, the Humanized has gotten really deep. We've just been real nasty the last couple of months.
Yeah, real nasty. But honestly, I just feel like the only reason why majority of that quote unquote MAGA crowd, or even just some of those Republicans, because they say all of us are not racist, some of those Republicans don't vote for Joe Biden is because they looking at it like a vote for Joe Biden is really putting Kamala in office, because everybody talks about Joe's age, and if this happens, it's like, okay, so we voted for Donald Trump or this black woman. That's how they looking at it.
Which is racist. So their initial point comes full circle.
Yeah.
Well, guys,
they try to say we not all racist.
Okay, well, you still harbor anti-black bias that allows you to turn a blind eye to racist, which makes you complicit. Haha, look at how that works. Guys, we are gonna do a political episode, and there will be more political episodes probably in studio with people who can speak to these topics as we get closer. Jeffrey, thanks for giving me anxiety early. I was waiting to at least April or May to have this conversation, but god damn it.
Girl, in my mind, the New Hampshire primaries are not until like the beginning of March or something. I don't know why. And yesterday they're like, yeah, New Hampshire primaries tomorrow. And I got the biggest like anxiety in the pit of my
stomach.
passed
it on to us in our audience. Thank you, Jeffrey.
Because I really want this to be as fun and lighthearted as I am. I really want this to be taken serious. Like, I hate when people say my vote don't matter. My vote, like, please vote and take one friend in each of your hands with you, and please go vote.
Yeah, and we're going to educate people more on why their vote matters. In fact, your local vote matters even more sometimes. Yes. Because when we talk about the Electoral College, the people that you nominate for local politics are the ones who make up the electorate, guys. And so this actually matters as much, if not more, than the major vote sometimes. So local elections are where the real power is.
That's why we got a Amy Coney Barrett and a Brett Kavanaugh push through so fast to the Supreme Court.
Exactly. It's so crazy. Probably the most impactful work that I've ever done has been in politics. And I hate that the way the world is making me feel like I need to go back because my blood pressure. I'm going to choose between the talking to the people of my health. Like, I hate that the thing that I know can be the most of service is also the thing that costs me a lot of my peace. So I'm going to, maybe the podcast will be a nice hybrid to have an impact without wanting to throw up on myself and go to the doctor afterwards and have an eye twitch for 6 months. Guys, this actually wraps up tonight's episode. Thank you guys so much for making me kiki and laugh. I have a big old pot of chicken noodle soup that I was making beforehand, so the house smells like love right now. First of all, 2 Tauruses and a Cancer. How cuddly is this group? Before we wrap up, I want to end on a high note because the world is burning. It probably is not how we should be ending the show. We talked about how we are manifesting actively, and we're claiming on top of that we will be doing our first live show in October because that was our 1-year anniversary.
I want to do it before.
Oh, okay. You got before money?
I got a before venue.
What is it? Is the venue an inside? It has to be an inside venue for the acoustics.
I'm thinking like March. I ain't thinking tomorrow. I'm thinking like March when it's warm.
Okay. Well, as of right now, we're saying October just so we can get our ducks in a row, unless you get a pile of money for the overhead. And what do you want to manifest for our first? Because I want us to start having an open list of things that we want to manifest so that when we do the live show in October, we can look back at the footage and see if we got things on our list. For me, I would like it to be a space that can hold at least 100 people, triple digits. So that's the first thing that I'm manifesting because I'm doing math in my head. How about you guys? What would you like to manifest for our first live show?
I just want it to be just fun and
that's guaranteed. You gotta manifest that, child.
No, because I've been to some live shows.
I have as well, and we weren't the one on stage.
Some really like good things that I listen to in my ear. Audio is good, but don't translate well when it's live. Mm-hmm. So I wanted to translate as well live as it does in audio to people, to the audience.
I have zero concern about that. We are popping.
And I want to see a lot of backpacks in the audience.
Yo, if you get jumped by a group of lesbians and they try to take your booty in the bathroom,
now we gotta hire security the first episode.
Some of them lesbians like pretty boys. Some of them DC lesbians like pretty boys, Jeffrey. You better stop flirting with them.
Listen,
right.
I'm trying to bridge the gap.
Jeffrey gonna come back with a girlfriend after the live show. This is my boyfriend Judy. How about you? Jeffrey wants it to be fun. Because the lesbians never change their names. The really masculine ones very rarely change their name. Like you, a cute cat daddy, but your name is Edith. I'm like, wow, okay.
What y'all gonna do with my stud walking around pregnant with a backpack?
If you, Jeffrey, are you sure you want to manifest that? Because you're in the presence of a witch. You better be careful. If Jeffrey gets a stud pregnant, I want you all to know that I had nothing to do with it. How about you, Lulu? God, Jeffrey, it went left so quickly with you. It's the sangria. No,
it always does.
It always goes left with Jeff. He got a stud pregnant in the second episode after backpack, which tells me you've been thinking about it. All right, hit it, Lulu.
I want to manifest us some sponsors, you know?
Yes. A drink sponsor, some swag sponsors, some mental health sponsors. Hell, the venue could be sponsored. I want sponsorship falling from the windows to the walls.
Hey.
Oh, and another thing too, merch. I would love to manifest us some really fun merch.
What's gonna be the merch though? We're gonna have like t-shirt with
backpacks, Jeffrey. It sells itself.
Yeah, we gotta sell. Yep.
It's gonna be a humanized backpack with all three of our faces.
Yep, all three faces. Yep.
Oh,
backpack.
I want mine to look like James. This got to be what my picture goes.
No, you are not having a James.
I'm dead fuck.
That would be. I mean, it does fit. It does fit. All right, guys, we have to wrap up because I'm hungry and the soup smells amazing. I love you guys to pieces. Thank you for lifting my mood because again, the last 72 hours tried to take me out, so this definitely made me feel better. Have a great. Oh, but before we go, tell people how to find you.
You can find me on everything at Jeffro5, JEF1FRO5.
How about you, Lulu?
And you can find me on Instagram with Lou_Lou19.
And you guys can always find me and us at Bluecentric. And please make sure to check out. This is the last week, literally 24 hours after this episode goes out is when we start the workshop. Go to ots24.eventbrite.com. Sign up for the On That Shift workshop. Jeffrey and Lulu, would you guys ever join us? I told you guys could join for free.
You say on 24th. Wait, what day?
It's Wednesdays. We do it for Wednesdays.
Oh yeah.
And honestly, guys, I've had friends join to be polite, and then they're like, oh shit, this is really a thing. So if you guys want to join me Wednesdays, it's from 5 to 7 Pacific on Wednesdays. And it is amazing. And the fellowship, you find yourself falling in love with the strangers that are in the thing, and by then they're not strangers anymore. So
I might have a Valentine. Yep, I'm signed up, join.
If you want to meet Jeffrey and shoot your shot in the middle of class, ots24.eventbrite.com. Lulu, if you're open, I would love to have you because there's so many things that we've talked about. I was like, oh, Lulu should come to the workshop. It's fun. We have a good time. And honestly, it starts to feel like group therapy / accountability partners. So you find yourself doing things during the week that you normally wouldn't because you're excited to come back into the class about your productivity. So it's of everything I've done outside of this podcast, it's my favorite thing that I've ever done. All right, guys, as usual, we are all just human beings doing human shit. Please be gentle with yourselves. If you have any thoughts, feelings, concerns about the show, leave a comment. Please subscribe. Please rate us. Somebody wrote in the comments today that she's going to send it to 3 friends, and she wants everybody to send it to 3 friends because more people know about our show. So the girl who said that, we agree. So everybody do what she says and send the show to friends. We are a hidden gem. There are so many podcasts that get tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, millions of views. And when I watch them, I'm like, I didn't enjoy them as much as I enjoyed us.
Let me tell you, I fell asleep last night in my living room with the TV on and was awakened to Shannon Sharp yelling in my... Talk about terror. That thing... was what you talking about? I said, "Oh, get me out of here."
Yeah, there are people who are getting more by doing less, and so if you want us to evolve and have an amazing sponsored first live show, and we're gonna be doing one in LA, but I'm wondering if we should do one in New York as well.
We gonna do one, not maybe. We gonna do one. We doing one in several cities. We got to plan a tour, but our first will be here in LA.
Yeah, the first will be in LA. So yeah, guys, we're going to be manifesting a lot of amazing things. 2024 is our year. We're claiming it. We're not going to be scared to claim it because I know since 2020, nobody's had the balls to say that. But yeah, it's going to be our year. I love y'all so much. Bye.